Well, here we go again. If you haven't seen my last two videos, I've been going over Clash Royale cards and seeing which of them will work in a war. So far we've covered 1 through 4 elixir troops and gone over the niche, useless, and impactful categories. In this video we're going to be covering the rest of the Clash Royale elixir spectrum, mainly focusing on the impactful category, cards that are pretty good and will serve a good use case over the course of an entire war, and then the super weapons of Clash Universe, cards that are so powerful they could single-handedly change the course of an entire war, possibly even letting one side dominate the other in a heartbeat. I'm going to be also revising a couple cards that I think deserve a bit higher grading. So, with that out the way, let's get right into it. Electro Giant is honestly better than I thought. Originally, I thought his zap wasn't that powerful, but as you can see in his trailer, he absolutely annihilates his Hog Rider and just bulldozes through enemies, shooting anything in his path with his powerful lightning shot. Also, he has a pretty good range too. He straight up one-shots King Tower, which makes him building level. He was about to square off against the Mega Knight, which is pretty, and it looks like it was going to be an equal match, so that's pretty good as well. So I think he would be a good contender as in the useful category. Sparky might also be a shocking contender on this list. Originally, I thought this card would be just a worse tank compared to something like the Sherman. It doesn't have a machine gun, and its charge rate is comparable to a tank, but I didn't think it was that powerful. But in this Clash of Rama episode, Go Sparky Go, his performance is really good. His main gun is able to rapid fire, which is way better than a tank, which usually takes 3 to 5 seconds to reload. It seems pew pew pew, you know. And he's able to one-shot building. It's also basically like a drone, meaning a human doesn't need to risk their life piloting it. The main problem I have with Sparky is his range is abysmal. It looks like the Sparky has 2 firing modes, a cannon shot where he shoots a giant blast, and an electric mode where he arcs lightning. Both are pretty powerful, able to one-shot giant, able to destroy building, but he has to be kind of close for both of these shots. I think he does have a little bit more range for the cannon shot, but the arc lightning, he definitely does have to be close. So that's one downside he has, but I think he would still be a useful card. I'm listening back to these audio recordings and I'm really realizing how bad I sound. I'm getting over a cold, so please excuse any mispronunciations or anything like that. Alright, the next troop that really may spark your interest. Okay, I'm having too much fun. The Electro Dragon is hands down probably the best dragon when it comes to all their base forms, or non-evolved versions. The other dragons absolutely need their evos to be even considered useful, but as you can see here in this trailer, the Electro Dragon can be truly terrifying. He's hiding in the clouds, shooting powerful lightning bolts with a high degree of accuracy. Honestly reminds me of Toothless when he's first introduced, just raining down hell from above. And no one can even like see where he's coming from or where he's at. He can absolutely mess up an enemy's back line, especially his evolved version, where he could just fully squad wipe anyone he sees with his infinite chain lightning. World War I, World War II, and Vietnam War, I could see a lot of good use cases for him just sniping enemy troops, enemy back lines, artillery, stuff like that, and just disabling entire squads by himself. Okay. Let's go ahead and cut the circle with our next troop, the Executioner. Oh my god, dude, I'm on fire with these. Alright, moving on. To be honest, there's not a lot to go off of when it comes to Executioner in this trailer. However, we see Evil Executioner go toe-to-toe with the Boss Bandit and do relatively well, all things considered. We'll talk about why pushing the Boss Bandit this far back is impressive later, but him cleaving through stone and trees with ease, along with him being strong enough to push around goals with giants, puts him in this tier. The Goblin Machine itself is an impressive weapon, but I want to more focus on the inventors of the Goblin Machine, Goblin Babies.
Did you know goblins tend to get dumber as they get older? Meaning baby goblins are actually some of the smartest goblins around.
With the lower technological aspects of the Clash universe, these Goblin Babies were able to create powerful weapons like the Goblin Drill, which we talked about in the last video, or their high-powered rocket, which can create mushroom clouds. Then you have their most powerful invention, the Goblin machine itself, which stood toe-to-toe with the Mega Knight and fires powerful rockets, computer targeting missiles at that, which is impressive considering the Clash universe is more in that medieval era. Imagine what these guys can do in the modern times. You could probably get Iron Man suits, or they got with your boy Goblinheimer. That rocket would be even more devastating, or the nuke would be even more powerful. Moving on to the next robot, our Spirit, maybe. I'm honestly not sure what the P.E.K.K.A is. The lore around her is weird.
Did you know that the P.E.K.K.A is actually just a spirit trapped inside a suit of armor?
But she's a goddamn tank. Able to shrug off ballista rounds without even a dent, as we can see here in this Clash Rama's episode. She's also able to slice through trees without even touching them, meaning just the wind coming off her sword is that powerful, and able to one-shot this Archer Tower. Now, I don't know the upper limits to her attack potency. She isn't able to get through the Mega Knight's armor, which is more to speak for the Mega Knight's durability rather than an anti-feat for her, but I would comfortably put her above the mini P.E.K.K.A, the base mini P.E.K.K.A, meaning she is at least building level, if not more. Then we have the Mega Knight, everyone's favorite card. And to be honest, this dude takes more L's than Krillin in the Frieza saga.
Stand back and peep the light show. Green Lantern's got this.
Mega Knight shows up in so many trailers just for him to get absolutely annihilated by whatever troop he's going up against. I almost didn't put him up in this tier because of how frequently this happens, but to be honest, he is still just an actual threat. I would compare this to what was happening to Superman in the Justice League animated series, where Superman gets beat by every new villain of the week just to make that villain look stronger. He's taking building level strikes from the P.E.K.K.A, multiple building level strikes from the P.E.K.K.A, like I said before. I can see him running through grounds troops, jumping all over the place, not getting hit by anything significant. And then you have the Mega Knight Evo, where his evolution is truly just a powerhouse. I can imagine him knocking through an army of tanks with ease, without getting hit by any of the main guns, and machine guns are just going to bounce right off his armor. The P.E.K.K.A Mega Knight duo would be a scary combination to see in a war, so I would put them both in that useful category. The Archer Queen would be quite the powerful insurgent, able to go invisible and hold her own against multiple enemies. We see her in this Clash Royale episode with named Jenny the Archer, where her and Jenny just absolutely destroy this clan base by themselves. She's also pretty good at destroying walls, apparently. Not sure how helpful that is, but hey, there you go. Lastly, we have Lightning. Look, I don't know what to say about this card. It's literally lightning in a bottle. Like, what else do I need to add? Sophie. Alright, everybody. That is it for the useful category. And like I said in the last video, if you have some problems with where I place certain cards, let me know in the comments below. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the super weapon section of the video. So before we get into the newer cards, I want to start off with 4 different cards I've already covered and update their stats a little bit. I've done a little bit more research and kind of thought over it a little bit, and I think these 4 cards deserve the category of super weapon. Starting off with the coolest dude on the block, the Ice Golem. Now, you might think, oh, he's a pretty useless card, but ever since his hero version came out and this trailer dropped, it kind of buffed up his stocks quite a bit. He's going toe-to-toe with the Wizard, first of all. He's always being depicted as the size of a mountain. And if you want to take that or leave it, that's fine. It doesn't really affect his power too much. I just thought I'd throw it in there. But him being the size of a mountain, him being able to control blizzards and shoot these ice beams, and so powerful they can contend with the Wizard, puts him in that nuclear tier of power. If you drop him into any city, I'm like confident he's going to be able to just outright destroy it. It'll kind of make sense once we get to the Wizard. Next, we have the Goblin Cage. I feel like in my last video, I downplayed the Goblin Cage, primarily his Diddy Goblin evolution. His ability to pull any enemy into his cage to pound on them, regardless of their size, is quite impressive.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
My only issue with his abilities was that his range was way too small to be effective, and he didn't seem to show the same type of strength outside of the cage. So we came to the obvious conclusion that he had a domain expansion.
領域展開無料空所
The mistake I made, though, was assuming he would just pop it right out of the gate like he does in the game. Obviously, he would be more strategic at that and wait to use his powerful technique when it's absolutely needed. I also now believe he has the same amount of strength inside or outside of the cage, considering it's the same amount of damage per second according to the game. Clearly, the only thing that his domain expansion is used for is to cover the opponent infinite amount of baby oil to the point where they can't even move and he could just wail on them infinitely. Kind of like Gojo's domain expansion where he floods the target with infinite amount of info. I honestly can't believe I said all that with a straight face. Now we're going on to the Mini P.E.K.K.A. Now, the Mini P.E.K.K.A. in his base is already impressive enough, but after thinking about it for a little bit, analyzing certain videos and rewatching the footage, this clip probably isn't over an exaggeration.
He's eating the pancakes! His power level is over 9,000!
The Mini P.E.K.K.A.'s power is shown over and over again to scale to how many pancakes he's eaten. It's like some type of Popeye the Sailor Guy shenanigans. Meaning a power level of 9,000 may be even an underestimate to how strong he could be. I mean, we've seen this in the game before with the Super Mini P.E.K.K.A. where he eats so many pancakes that he's practically invincible and does over 100,000 damage per hit. He definitely is the most powerful super weapon on this list. He honestly belongs to a tier on his own. He could probably get up to those solar system, the galaxy busting tiers, if not like infinite, just depending on how many pancakes he's eaten. Lastly, we have the Knight, or the Hero Knight more specifically. I really glossed over his transformation here. Him basically getting a shield every 20 seconds means he's practically... If you don't know, the Knight's ability to taunt gives him a shield. These powerful defensive weapons are able to block all incoming damage, no matter what, as long as the shield is still active. Meaning the Knight could take a couple shots from a Glock, a goddamn nuke, or even the Big Bang itself. Infinite durability is insane. Not only that, but I believe that the Knight does some type of genjutsu on his opponents. You know his taunt ability to bring them closer to him. I think it's some type of genjutsu. So, I know it sounds crazy, but you look at the footage. Look at the footage. You see here, the Musketeer is about to blow his head off. She has him pinned down, ready to pull the trigger. All of a sudden, she falls into some type of trance. She has been locked in this whole entire fight. Throughout this trailer, she has not lost concentration once, which makes sense. She's a sniper. So why is it when she has the Knight in her clutches, she doesn't pull the trigger? I wouldn't bat an eye if it only happened once. But it happens again with the Mini P.E.K.K.A. The Mini P.E.K.K.A. is about to finish off the Knight, and all of a sudden he's put in this trance-like state, and the Knight's able to get out of it. Both of these illusions happen for around 4 seconds, which is how long the Knight's abilities last. So, between his defensive capabilities and his ability to hypnotize people, I say he belongs in the super weapon tier. Alright, now that we have the old cars good and covered, let's go on to a new car starting with the Valkyrie. Now, Valkyrie is good in her base form. She's able to dodge electricity from the E-Wizard, and I think she would have the skill enough to be useful in the battlefield. But her true power comes from her evolution, where she can just straight up create tornadoes with ease just by flinging her axe around. Now, as you can see here, she just straight up dodged a musket ball from the Musketeer, which is impressive by itself, to be honest. But then she's able to create a tornado powerful enough to pick up the Musketeer and Hog Rider. To make a tornado this strong, it has to be at least a EF2 tornado with wind speeds around 111 to 135 miles per hour. which means she's creating tornadoes strong enough to damage houses. And I do believe this is not just an EF2 tornado, but an EF3, considering that she can pull the golem and giant with ease. As you can see in this clip, she's barely spinning around and the golem cannot get away from her. It's insane. So yeah, I think EF3 is not even that much of a high ball, honestly. And if you look at how much devastation an EF3 tornado can cause, like look at some of these pictures. Look at how big EF3 tornadoes are. Yes, this is wiping out an army. If you place her in the middle of a town or a city, it's probably getting wiped off the map. There's not much anyone can do to stop her. And like I said, even in her base form, she's able to dodge lightning strikes, so she's easily going to be able to dodge bullets. She's a super weapon. And then you have the baby dragon, which it seems he has a lot more control over the air. I would say he's probably just an airbender at this point. You can see him just shooting out air blasts at goblins, at doors, through his hands. I think it might be probably a misconception that it's his wings causing this air, but no, I think it's just his whole body. I think he just has complete control of the air. He also has the ability to create this nice air area where he could slow down enemies and speed up allies. So if you combine the efforts of the Valkyrie and Baby Dragon, you can probably get an EF4 tornado or just a huge devastating effect on the battlefield, maybe even cause devastating effects to a city or a town easily. Speaking of natural phenomenons, next we're going to be talking about the earthquake. And I honestly don't care what anyone says in the comments or anywhere else. This is a nuclear level threat. If I see fissures this big, I'm surrendering the war. This is going to be worse than 2012 or any other earthquake movie you've seen. Look at how big the cracks are. If you carpet bomb a city with this thing, the city's gone. And maybe the country. I don't know what type of detrimental chain reactions this could cause. This is not just a magnitude 10 earthquake. Magnitude 10 earthquakes don't even cause fissures like this. I'm telling you right now, this could have a chain reaction on the rest of the world. But who cares? We're trying to win a war, baby. The earthquake would definitely be a super powerful weapon. All right, next, let's talk about the possible inventor of the earthquake spells, and I guess all spells, matter of fact, the goddamn wizard. Now, you might be wondering why I sound a little bit aggravated. It's because I had to rewrite this script several times just because of the goddamn wizard and the amount of bullcrap he pulls out of his hat. So, let's just go over the list, okay? I think it'll be easier that way. He has the ability to polymorph, goddamn barbarian hut, builder's hut, and a tree, and into a witch. I don't know. So he has the ability to polymorph. He has the ability to shoot fireballs, of course, and create explosive rabbits that are powerful enough to destroy large buildings. As you can see here, he destroys a town hall with a rabbit. Cool. He stole from the ice wizard's bag. Apparently, he can just do freeze spells. Okay, cool. So he can do freeze spells. He can cast rage spell from his hands. He doesn't need a bottle. He can just cast rage spells. He can shrink people. As you can see here, he shrinks a giant. And he can also enlarge people as he re-enlarges the giant. Also, look at this.
I have to thank you for that.
I think you've earned this.
No, wait, not yet!
He straight up kills the dude. He enlarged the guys while he's in someone's nostril. It's a whole thing. But he's able to enlarge people, which is crazy. And he's implied to have created all the spells in Clash-O-Rama. In the episode Spell Factory, we see that he has created most spells and is currently inventing new spells as well. So he's constantly creating more spells. And we haven't even gotten to his evils in hero forms yet. You see the goddamn problem? His bag is way deeper than anyone I've seen in these episodes. In any of the characters we've talked about, his bag is just grossly too deep. He has his evil, where he has a goddamn shield, and we talk about how broken shields are in this game, where he can survive anything from a 9mm to a freaking nuke. And not only that, the shield, once the shield breaks, it casts like a fireball vortex and vaporizing anyone around him, or pushing them back at the very least. And his hero form, which is so broken, where he just flies now.
I fly now?
And he's able to shoot fireballs so powerful they create vortexes. As we can see here, he's going up against the Ice Wizard, like I said before. The Ice Wizard, not Ice Wizard, sorry. The Snow Golem shooting ice beams and these large blizzards. Yeah, he's casually pushing that back. He's going toe to toe with the freaking Snow Golem. So he's a force to be reckoned with. It's insane how much he can do, and it honestly pissed me off that I had to rewrite the script to include all this stuff in. So moving on to cooler pastures, let's talk about the Ice Wizard. And now some of you might be wondering why I'm even talking about the Ice Wizard, considering how I went on a 3-minute rant on how good the wizard is and how deep his bag is. That doesn't mean the Ice Wizard is useless. The Ice Wizard actually is a superpower on its own. Now, he doesn't have as deep a bag as the actual wizard does, not from what I can tell from the things, unless you want to say the Ice Wizard and wizard are the same type of person, they just have different trainings. Because as you can see, the wizard doesn't have as much control over the ice ability as the Ice Wizard does. The Ice Wizard is able to create sculptures, he's able to do, as you can see in the trailer, he just goes ham on this entire group of enemies by himself, takes out the P.E.K.K.A, takes out the Inferno Tower, takes out the barbarians, all these things. And the main reason why he even caught my attention was he's able to dodge the laser beam from the Inferno Tower. If you don't know, laser beams are considered light speed, especially in power scaling. And I can't say for certain this is a actual laser beam. I can't see what else it is though, other than, yeah, it's a laser beam. He's getting shot at with a beam fast that's going at light speed, and he's able to dodge it with ease. That means he's at least relativistic. I'm saying that so wrong. Relativistic, or he's FTL. So he has FTL reaction speeds. That's extremely good. He's also able to freeze large structures like the Inferno Tower. Honestly, it looks like he's freezing the entire arena. So he has large building level feats like his regular wizard counterpart, and he's able to dodge really fast attacks. So he's going to be dodging bullets on the battlefield. He's going to probably freeze the entire battlefield. So, and he's also kind of an inventor on his own. He helped create the Void Spell. He also helped invent the Evo Wizard as well. So he does have a bag, even though a smaller bag at that. Alright, we're done with magic for a little bit, but we aren't done with bullcrap. Next we have the Bandit. She's able to use her ability to dash, and while dashing, she's immune to attacks. And guess what? She can spam dashes to straight up become a speedster. We see this multiple times in Clash Royale episodes Archer Departure and Clashmaker. And what makes her, once again, even stronger is that she's immune to damage while dashing. It says in her description, while dashing, she cannot be touched. Straight up. That means you have to wait till she's about to attack to finish her off. So you see this small window of opportunity right here before she's hitting the tower. Yeah, that's the only time you can take her out, while she's about to attack. So if the Bandit is this strong, how much stronger is the boss Bandit? That's why I said earlier, the Executioner doing this well against her is impressive. She's probably just as fast as the Bandit, if not faster. Not only that, she can just straight up teleport as well. She has more health, she's stronger. They're going to be both a true threat on the battlefield. I don't know how you're going to be able to handle them, honestly. Then we have the Monk. The Monk, I can see so much BS happening with him. It's not even funny. Can you imagine what would happen if this dude was in Hiroshima while the bomb dropped? Would he be able to just deflect it back into New York or something? One of our capitals? So that's probably where I put the Monk here. He's able to deflect any projectile on the battlefield. And in a modern battlefield where there's nothing but projectiles to fire at each other, he's going to be very, very devastating and crucial to any front that he's on. I don't think there's any way any regular person is going to be able to take him out, honestly, even without his projectile deflecting abilities. How are you going to get up close to him? Are you going to hand-to-hand combat with him? No, he's going to whoop you. He is strong enough to push around a giant, push around a golem. Yeah, he's going to whoop everything on the back. I honestly don't know how you're going to be able to beat him. Can't use projectiles. You might be able to, maybe use, traps or something. Maybe, I don't know, throw a grenade underneath him. But yeah, he's pretty much gonna be invincible on the modern battlefield. These next couple troops I'm gonna put in the same boat. These guys are here because they essentially can just create an infinite army for whatever side they're on. Let's start off with the furnace, for example. He can spawn infinite fire spirits, and we talked about spirits in a previous video, how powerful they can be. They're basically just heat-seeking grenades. Then you have the Night Witch, and she can spawn bats, which we've talked about bats as well, and how the U.S. military spent $2 million on a bat bomb project.
Fascinating history. Bats are a common scene around these parts, and we know them and we appreciate them. But you may have even more appreciation for our bug-eating neighbors after hearing this story. So did you know that bats were once enlisted to help us win a war? Our Justin Horn tells us how these creatures almost became unlikely war heroes.
Where bats will seek out targets and just light them ablaze. We have some really funny projects in history. I love it. So basically, we're giving the U.S. military trained bats already, so they won't have to spend as much money on a project like that. They have the Goblin Giant that, of course, if he takes enough damage, he can spawn a unlimited amount of goblins. Now, the question is, would we have to damage him ourselves, or would it have to be on the battlefield? That's why I'm kind of like questioning him. He's probably one of the weaker ones, because if he's on the battlefield, the Goblin Giant in reality will die really, really quick. There's no thought about that. So, but he can spawn an infinite amount of goblins theoretically. And then we have what, in my opinion, is the most powerful card, is the Witch. Mainly because I think she can hold her own by herself. Without even spawning skeletons, she would be a useful card. But then she can spawn skeletons in an infinite amount. As you can see in this trailer, the way she's powering up, it looks quite strong. She has the wind blowing around her, and all of a sudden she has an army of skeletons marching on the castle. So I think there's a lot of use cases when it comes to the witch herself. She can also heal from her skeletons dying. She would be a threat by herself on the battlefield. Then we have two kind of specialty units when it comes to building your own army. The Skeleton King and Goblinstein. They both have extreme implications in their own right, but let's start with Goblinstein first. He's a very intelligent inventor that created a powerful weapon called the Lightning Link, where he can create lightning chain between him and his monster that annihilates anyone in his proximity. This could be a very effective trap, catching a lot of enemies off guard, but that's not why he's up here. His most important invention is, of course, that he created life. Now, some of you might be saying Big Whoop. We talked about 4 different cards that can do the same thing, right? Well, not exactly, because he basically brought back the dead in this instant. He sewed a bunch of different body parts together and brought back a dead body. And once again, in the Classroom universe, where the technology is fairly rudimentary compared to ours, he could potentially bring back those that have already fallen with their expertise and knowledge coming back to life as well. Especially with our technology, we can probably make an improved version of this where he doesn't have to just sew body parts back together, but just bring the person we want back to life. And this goes double for the Skeleton King because there's no nuance here. He legit is just bringing them back to life as well. You can make some arguments about Goblinstein. You have to sew back the body together. You can never get the correct brain functions. But no, it's explicitly stated in Skeleton's description and in his ability that he just brings back the dead. Some of you also might be saying, oh, doesn't the witch do the same thing? No, she's just spawning in her own random skeletons. Sometimes it's even applied to be her kids multiple times.
So you're a witch. I can definitely feel something magical happening right now. Whoa! You got kids?
So, no, the witch is doing something different. The Skeleton King is explicitly, he's bringing back the dead. Souls are going toward him, and there's that. So it's not even just like bringing back soldiers from the battlefield. You can bring back your leaders if they died. FDR died in the middle of the war, so we can easily just bring him back. Would he have the same body? Probably not, but he comes back as a skeleton. If any of your scientists die all of a sudden or get assassinated, you just bring them back and you still have their expertise. This would have a profound effect on the human psyche. Morale would shoot up to exorbitant heights because you don't die. You don't have to worry about dying. One of the reasons why we pulled out of the Vietnam War because of the human cost. People were sick of losing their family for a war they didn't understand. Would we still care about the human life if human life just comes back no matter what? Now, okay, I know you probably don't want to come back as a skeleton or come back with, I guess, prongs in your head, but you're still going to be alive. Death no longer has a effect or is no longer a factor for your country. And that's a scary thought. And that's not even speaking on the evil you can use this for as well. We talked about the war crimes you can commit with the goblin curse, mutating people into goblins, or the mother witch, which can turn people into pigs when they die. But this is far worse. Imagine this being used as a torture method. You know, if you accidentally you just bring them back to life to do it all over again, that would drive someone insane. I can't even... God. Oh my god, dude. So these guys would definitely be super weapons. I would honestly prefer them not to be in our world. But yeah, okay, let's move on. The last card we're going to be talking about today is the Skeleton Army. Keeping up with the dead theme, I guess. But Skeleton Army might be a surprise to some. I've kind of dogged on skeletons throughout this video and the previous. And they are fodder. What the fudge? And they are fodder. But the Skeleton Army is different because they explicitly have Larry and Gary. Y'all know how powerful Larry is, bro. And it's not even like a joke. He was able to destroy this Arctic Tower, leading to a chain of events that just like destroyed this elixir collector. You know, multi-building level feat, question mark. Then we see him in a class short called The Lost Crown once again, where he just gets up to so much shenanigans and survives for no reason. See right here, for example, Larry and Gary both dodged this infernal light beam, and we already talked about how this is pretty much a relativistic to FTL feat. So it's kind of either they have FTL reaction times or they are extremely lucky. They also survived this rocket for whatever reason. They're just skeletons, right? But they're surviving a rocket blast. He survives being inside the belly of an electro dragon, and this electro dragon is shooting out full electricity. This made the musketeer go brain dead, but the skeleton, he's just fine. Larry has survived some crazy stuff. And then you have Gary, which also has survived some crazy stuff alongside Larry. So I think there's two paths we can go down when it comes to how powerful Larry is. I think on one hand, we could say he's building level, that he has relativistic speed, and he also has a multi-building level attack potency. Or we can say that he just has a luck factor, something like Domino or Milo from Murphy's Law. He just has the ability of probability. Ooh, that's a bar. Hold on. So, yeah, these two are a powerhouse, and you have a whole squad of skeletons around them. That's not even to mention the evolution version of these cards, where Larry becomes basically invincible, and Gary is a commander with a shield. So, I think there's a lot of stuff they could get away with. Maybe destroy enemy bases by themselves. Once again, like I said, Larry is invincible. If Gary dies, though, he does lose that invincibility, but just keep Gary at base, keep Gary at home, send these skeletons out to mess with the enemy. What are they going to be able to do? So yeah, I think they would be considered super weapons. This is debatable, but honestly, I can see it. All right, and that is it for the super weapons of Clash Royale. Before you leave, I don't know if there's a Klingon track yet, but I do plan on uploading a Klingon track for this video, going over why I didn't put certain cards in this list, not even in the useful category. So things like the Three Musketeers or the Royal Giant, and going over why I just didn't think they made the cut. So if you want to click that settings button and goes to the Klingon track, please do so. If not, oh, one more thing also. This video idea came from a YouTuber named Oogling. This was supposed to be a response video, but it became its own thing. But I do still want to give credit where credit is due. So go check out Oogling's original video. I'll have it in a link in the description below. And one last thing before you leave, I hate when YouTubers like gatekeep music from me. I hear music in the background and I'm like, bro, what is that track? I will always put the music in the description below. So if you want to know what music I use for this entire video, check the description. It should be there. If not, please comment. I don't know if I'll forget, but I most likely won't. I hate when YouTubers do that to me. But if that's all, if you guys want to leave, head out. Thank you guys for watching the whole video, and I'm just going to keep yapping. All right, since those losers didn't want to stick around, freaking Gen Z and their low attention span. But I do want to say thank you guys again for watching the video. I wanted to get this video out a week earlier, but I got sick and I yeah, stuff happened. Yeah, you know, it's life be life. But I wanted to say, if you guys want to give me ideas, I do have like some ideas of videos I want to do. But if you guys want to see certain content on the channel, please let me know. I'll try to get things out quicker and with a better schedule next time. So I hope you guys really did enjoy and have a great day. Thank you guys for watching.